What's going on, guys? It's Lewis here with Crypto Elite with another Checkin the Charts, episode number 2. If you don't know, this is a new series that I'm coming out with where I'm going to check the charts every day. I'm going to put in my levels, and if the price happens to come up into the zone that I marked out when I, made the videos, then great, I'll try to put on a trade, or I'll put a trade on, and if it's not there yet, then I'll probably just, go right past it and not really pay attention to it. So last time I did Bitcoin, I did Ethereum, I did BNB, and I did RNDR and OP. So I'm going to take a look. I'm going to play the little clips at the end of each of these things from my last video right now, see what it looked like, see what I said, and then we'll go into the charts and we'll see what it turned out to be. Okay, so let's play this here. It's going to be the 1 hour bearish order block, which falls in line with the 12-hour bearish order block. So I would want to, just short somewhere of here. I would put a stop. Probably put a stop above this wick, and just in case we get some nasty wick right above here, and I would target down here, which is a 2.65 R trade with a 1.33 and a 3.52 trade setup. Okay, so going into the charts, you could see that the price came down and then ended up coming back up. And it actually never got to where I wanted to enter my short position. So I actually never entered this. However, it did, reach my take profit and obviously started to move up from there. So for Bitcoin, didn't really get anything. But if we go back to the video, let's see what I said for Ethereum. Yeah, this would be my trade on the 1 hour chart. I would hope for some type of move up here off of this bullish breaker, followed by a move down, and I would probably just take my profits at the 50. Okay, so you could see the price was right here when I made that video, and so that was right here. So it went down, it went up, it went down again. Just double check. Yeah, it went down, it went up, it went down again. I was gonna say it was gonna come back up, hit 1883. So yeah, it actually hit. So this is great. So we actually won a trade, pretty solid. Got a 2.24 R trade. So if you wanted to say risk 2% of your account on this trade, you actually could have put on double, 2x leverage, and you would have made about almost 4% actually. Damn, that's really good. So yeah, we got one. That's pretty cool. So this is sweet, just seeing what I said in the video the day before, and then going in. So for Bitcoin, it didn't quite reach my level, but for Ethereum, it did reach my level right here. This is where we got in, and then took profits right here. So that's really cool. Let's see if I could go through the other ones real quickly. Okay, so for OP, I actually don't have to go back and watch the video, but you could see this was where I said I wanted to get in, was down there. And it turns out that the price actually did not tag it, so I didn't get into OP on this particular trade exactly like this, but I do think I said that I was going to stack in. Either way, I have started to stack in, so I am in my OP position. If you watch the video, you'll know that, and if you watch the video from Monday, my big market update, you'll know that OP is my biggest position right now by far, just because of all the reasons that I've already mentioned, where, just look at this chart, you could see it's pretty obvious why. Big diagonal, big horizontal, and at the big Fibonacci level. So there's a lot of reasons why I want to get into OP. So we had OP, and then the other one that I said was BNB. And I remember saying something like this was a really, really good trade setup if it comes back up here, but it might not. And yeah, this did not come up because there's so much FUD against BNB right now. So this obviously didn't hit, but if it does come up there, it would be such a sick trade. This would be such a good trade. And did I do Tron? I don't think I did Tron. No, I did RNDR. So I need to find that. So give me 1 second. yeah, I basically said I wanted to get in down here for RNDR, and this was the circle, and I'm pretty much waiting for this 61.8 to get hit, so hasn't hit that yet. So out of last video, if I took the trade that I wanted to, I'd actually be up 4% in my account, so 4% in one day, which I don't know if you know anything about investing or percentage gains, but that's pretty insane. So yeah, this is coming off to be on a great start. This is starting off on a great start, and we'll see how this continues. I'm gonna keep on going through different charts, and so what I'll do is I'll label all of these charts on my in my watch list, and what I did was I just labeled them a certain color, so I'll just go back to them every single day, and I'll just go back to them, and if one of them hasn't hit, then I'll just go to another one, and or a bunch of them haven't hit, or they're still on their way, I'm not going to mess with it. I'm just going to look at it for maybe 5 seconds, not 5 seconds. I'm going to look at it for like maybe 1-2 minutes. Just make sure everything is still, the way I want it, the plan that I put out there. And if it is, then I'm just going to leave it be and put some alerts in at the level. And then I'll just go on to another chart, and I'll, have a fresh new chart with another coin that I'll use to trade. And then whichever coin has the price hit that level of interest first, that's the one that I'll go into if I see a good trade setup on that level. So that way I'll be able to get through a ton of coins. And probably what's going to happen is a lot of the coins are going to reach the same levels around the same times, because crypto runs so in tandem with all the coins with one another. So we'll see how that works out. But yeah, hopefully I'll have 50 coins up on here in this series, so I could have all the levels plotted out, and I'll just go through them one by one, and just be like, okay, it's not there, but this one's getting close, etc., etc. Anyway, that was a long intro. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to BTC, because obviously it's my trade did not work out because for Bitcoin. So but it did hit my take profit. So now I should probably redo this and see if there's something else that I could do. For Ethereum also hit my take profit. So I'll redo Ethereum, and then OP, OP hasn't really gotten there yet, but I'm stacking orders in, so I don't really need to do anything with OP, and BNB hasn't gotten there yet, so I'm just gonna look at those for like 2 minutes each. So let's start a new chart with Bitcoin based off of the new information that we have now that this trade has already happened. And also, if you want to know exactly how I'm trading, when I explain it, like while I'm doing it in the videos, but also in episode 1, I explained it in a lot more in like pretty good detail. So you could watch that, and that's in the beginning of that video, and then that will explain to you what I'm doing. Also, I want to say that I did create an account, and I put $1,000 in there. So it's a futures account that I'm going to be trading, these trade setups from this series on, and we'll see, what happens with that. So I'm going to be keeping track of that, and I'll update that every single video. And then also I'm going to, yes, I'll look at, some higher time frame stuff, but I'm going to just stick with the 12-hour, 4-hour, 1 hour, and 15 minutes. So in the first episode, I started on the weekly time frame, and I went from like the weekly all the way down to the lower time frame, which yeah, you want to do with the top down analysis. But these trades, I really want these trades to be short term, like not day trades, but if they happen to be day trades, then day trades. Like the Ethereum one was a day trade, and that took a day, and so there's no point in me looking at the weekly time frame on these in this series. I look at the weekly time frame, and then I go down, I do like a big market overview every single Monday. But on these ones, I'm going to start, maybe what I'll do is I'll start on the daily, and I'll go daily, 12-hour, 4-hour, 1 hour, 15-minute, and I'll look for things like that. So that's what I'm gonna do for this series. So yeah, let's check this out. Let's start out on the let's do the 12 hour, because I think 3 times 4 is good enough, and then 4 times 1 is good enough. That doesn't make any sense. But let's do this 12 hour. I do want to have the weekly buy. I do want to have the weekly buy. So what I'll do is there's an indicator, and it's called Spaceman. So if you just type in key level Spaceman BTC, you'll get the key levels. So I have the weekly open. I have the monthly open. So June opened the month right here, and if I go to the month, you'll see that the month opened right there, right? So that's a key level. I know that's going to be a key level. And this week opened right here. So the week hasn't ended yet. There's still 3 days left. So the week opened right here. So that's another important level. And then the day opened right here today. So that's another important level. And I guess maybe I'll put Monday's range in there too. Monday low, Monday high, because sometimes that's important as well. And so now I have the range. Actually, no, I actually don't like that. I prefer just swing lows, swing highs. So I'm gonna take that off. I don't need Mondays. I don't want to mess with that. I'd rather just say, okay, this is swing low, this is swing high, and draw my fib out like this. So I'm looking at this, and let's go to the 12-hour chart. So I look at this, and I say, okay, so this was a SFP, and it moved all the way back up. That's super bullish. Then it came back down to the 61.8, and now it's making its way back up. So that seems pretty bullish to me, especially because it's still above these lows right here, like these lows, right? So I like that, but the other thing that I'm going to do in this series is I'm not going to force anything. If I don't see something, if something doesn't make sense to me, then I'm just not going to trade. I'm not going to try to force anything. And I'll be totally honest, right now, we had a swing failure pattern above, and then we dropped all the way back down to the low of the range, swing failure pattern below, dropped all the way up to the top of the range. So right now, in my opinion, on the lower time frames, we're ranging. And now this is different. This is different than what I talked about in my last episode, where I went from the weekly to the daily to the 4 hour, et cetera, where on the weekly time frame, I'm like, oh, we're in a downtrend, on the day, but on what I'm looking at, and what I want to do for these is short term, just not scalps, but like I mentioned, short term trades. I don't want to go for the home runs in this series. I go for the home runs in my typical trading and in my swing trading account and in my Monday market update videos. But that takes a very long time. A lot of times it could take weeks for the levels to get hit. These I want to try to get hit as soon as possible, so I'm doing in the shorter time frame. Plus, if you want to get really good at trading, try trading in the shorter time frame first. Because if you could trade in the shorter time frame with a small amount of capital, I recommend just doing a small amount of capital that you don't mind losing, because you'll probably lose it. And then you could zoom out to the higher time frames, and you'll get the reps in by doing the lower time frames, but then the higher time frames will be a lot easier. So that's one way to learn how to trade really well. So anyway, let's go back to this. I'm looking at this right now. I'm seeing that we had this huge area, this huge support area, and we just messed around with it, up, down, up, down, up, down. We created this range, from here to here, bottom. We hit the bottom, we hit the top, and then we SFP'd the bottom, and now maybe we're going back up to the top. So I would think that we're going to be moving back up here, but I can't really say. No one could really. This is a little bit difficult for me. If I had to put on a trade, I would put something like here, basically where we are, and aim up here, pretty much like this. But I don't think I'm going to do that, because it's just not clear to me. So, and sometimes it's just not going to be super clear, because if the macro environment was good, then yeah, of course I would target up here. But the macro environment isn't good. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say this. I'm going to say right here, and this is perfect. This is patience, and this is how to trade intelligently, which is like my thing, instead of just forcing shit. So this level right here, it's obviously a big level. Why is that? Well, if we obviously take the diagonal, boom, boom, 1, 2, 3, 4 touches. So this is a diagonal resistance. And not only is it a diagonal resistance, but this area right here is a liquidity zone. It's right above all of these highs. Now we had the liquidity zone flushed right here, but now we have another one from all of these highs. So a lot of people shorted, and then now we move down. So why don't we, if we're in a range between the bottom and the top, I mean, and this is the weekly bearish MSB, and this is the monthly open and the weekly open. I mean, why don't we come up here? Why don't we come up here on the week and then put in an SFP on these highs, or put in like a what do you call it? A wick like up here. That would make for a decently good trade, and then you could target the low. So I would probably just do this, put a trade on like here, and I could, put my stop right there. So it's above this diagonal, it's above this horizontal, it's above pretty much all this stuff, and then I would target down here, and which is the low of the range. Actually, I wouldn't even target down there. I would probably what I would do is I would take the Fibonacci. I'll take the Fibonacci from if this is swing low, I'll take it to the swing high somewhere up here, and I'll target the 61.8. So I'll probably, I'll just target that, and I'll be ranging because this is going to be short term. That's key. So this is going to be my trade setup for Bitcoin. If it hits, it hits. If it doesn't, no problem. As long as I don't lose money, that's my key parameter on this account. I mean, on every account, but like particularly on this short-term trading account, to not lose money. Okay, so that's going to be my plan for Bitcoin. I don't know if it's going to happen, but if it does, it seems like a really good thing. So now let's move on to Ethereum, and what I'll do is I'll look at the 12-hour. So here's the 12-hour, and what do I see here? Well, obviously I could get rid of this now because we already, we did it. Happened, so that's cool. And now we're still in this range, so bottom top, although I guess I could say that this is the range from this bottom to this top, came down, hit the 61.8, now it's on its way back up. This looks pretty much identical to Bitcoin. Yeah, it looks nearly identical to Bitcoin. Let's see, Ethereum has technically just been ranging since April, so April, May. Well, not since April, but since late April. So pretty much May. So let's say May, all of May, so entire month, and then June, where it's June 8th. So about a month and a half it's been ranging. And it's just been up, down. We had the fake out up here. Then we had the fake out down here. Then we had some wicks, move up. But we never got to like this previous top. Although I guess high time frame resistance and high time frame liquidity up here. So what I would do is I would like a rectangle. Yeah, this is the big this whole area. This is the big resistance area for sure. And then that was just like a fake out. So if we ever get back up here, then this would be the resistance area that I would want to sell into. And also, I mean, this is there's a lot of liquidity up here from all of these sells and stuff, and the people who sold here put their stops up here. So if we do come back up, I would definitely think that this area would be the area where I would want to short. So I'll look for shorting opportunities here, and target down there, or if there's something else, let me just take a look at this real quick. So this is the top, this is the low, this is the high, low, high. It looks like low, high, lower, low, lower, high. I mean, we're ranging. This is the low of the range, this is the top of the range. So I'd probably want to just wait until one of these things is hit. And let me just look at this real quick. Okay, so just looking at this from the short term, like within this whole range, we had the low, we had the high, we had the low, we couldn't break through the high, so pretty much an equal high. And then we had this up move for the down move that broke the market structure right here. That's why there's an MSB right here. So this right here became the bearish order block. So, you know, you label this out like this, and this is the bearish OB, and then you put your sell order here, and you typically put your sell order here and you target, you know, the bottom somewhere down here. So this shouldn't really come all the way back up here if we're going to continue this like shorter term trend. The only, like, from here to here, right? The only issue is that if this trend were to continue, then technically speaking, it should, you know, do something like this. Come up here, create a lower low, a lower high, and then eventually create a lower low. And then have a market structure break and create a lower low before coming back up. But this low is like right here, and this low already tagged the previous low. You know, this already tagged the previous low. So if this closed, say if this closed like down here, like right here, then what I would do is I would wait for it to come up, and then I would come down and target the lows but of the entire range. But because it already, you know, tagged it and then moved all the way up, it swept it, to be honest, and it came all the way up. Now it's uncertain. It's like, okay, are we just gonna go straight back to the top of the range now, or are we going to, you know, do this and then continue to move down, maybe close down here like how we did over here, maybe close even lower? You know, that's what I'm looking at. And I don't know, because this is just a big range. You know, this is just a huge range. We are literally at the same price as what we were April 21st, right? So like we were in this range, and it's pretty much like that's a range, you know? So I don't really like to trade the ranges like this. And like I just mentioned, it already tapped the low. So the next thing that I would think would be the high, but we're in a downtrend. So on the lower time frame, it's probably going to, on the lower time frame, I think it's going to do this. I think it's going to do this thing where it's going to come up here somewhere around here. Let's go to the 1 hour chart. It's going to come up to, probably come up to around the monthly open again, and then end up coming down. I don't know if it's going to reach all the way down here though. I don't know why I said it like that. I said I don't know if it's going to reach all the way down there though. And you know, that would be a really good trade. But if it doesn't, I guess that's still a decent trade. It's just a little, like last week, this trade was super easy. It was very just like obvious. But this week it's not. And then also, if you look at, you know, these are the highs, these are the lows. We're in the discount area. We're in the area underneath the 61.8. So I don't know why I did that. I wanted this. We're in this discount zone. So, you know, under the 50, I don't want to be selling here. I want to sell up here. I'd rather sell, you know, above the midline, which I guess you could say looks like it's right around there is the midline. So yeah, I'm thinking like maybe, let's look on the 4 hour. On the 4 hour, this right here, this was the bearish order block, and it turned into a bullish breaker, but then it fell back down again. So now this is pretty much the bearish order block again. So if we get a move up here to the monthly open, and we get some type of if we get something up there, maybe we'll create the lower low, and then, you know, you could target here to create something like this. But this you'd really have to wait to see if you could get some type of confirmation on this type of trade setup. So yeah, I don't have, you know, there's no confirmation on here, but we'll have to wait. Okay, so now that I went through Bitcoin and Ethereum, I actually want to go back to OP, because for this particular series and for this particular account, like I mentioned before, I want this to be shorter term trades. I don't want this to be longer term swing trades. So my big account, I have a long term trade on for here. I'm just stacking in orders. I'm stacking in buys. But for this series, I want it to be very tactical. Just like, okay, you get in with a very clear invalidation. You get out and take your profits at levels that are not being too greedy, and not trying to go for the home runs, and just trying to, you know, do it how you want to do it. So this, I'm going to trade right now. I'm pretty much from right here. If we go to the 1 hour chart, you can see that we tagged the high time frame horizontal supports, and we also had this big sweep right here. So this was a really good area to get long in. So I'm long from down here in my big account, but in this trading account, I'm long from right here. So, and I am long $2,000 right now. So that's twice my account. So if I want to risk, let's say I want to risk 2% on this trade, right? And I put twice the amount of my capital into this trade, and I only want to risk 2%. That means that I could only have a 1% stop loss. My stop loss has to be 1% away, because if my stop loss is 1% away from my entry, then if it gets hit, then I will lose 2% of my account, because I doubled my account size for this particular trade. Obviously, though, I don't really want to do that. So I'm actually risking a lot more than 2% on this trade. So I need to see my original stop was somewhere down here. So now I need to raise my stop, and I need to ask myself, am I going to be comfortable risking more than 2% on this trade? I can already answer that. Yes, I am, because only because of where we are right here. If we weren't in such a good spot, I wouldn't be comfortable of risking more than 2%. So for this trade, I'll allow to risk up to 4%. So if I'm risking 4% of my account, then that means that I could have a 2% drawdown or stop loss. Why? Because if you put 100% of your account into a trade, and you go down 2%, like basically wherever your stop loss is, that's how much you're going to lose percentage wise. So if you put 100% of your account into a trade, and your stop loss is 4% away, if the price hits this stop loss, you're going to lose 4% of your account. But if you're using margin, or you leverage, and you put twice your account balance into a trade, and you want to risk 4%, you can only have your stop be 2% away, because if it hits it, then you're going to lose 4% of your entire account. So I need to be very, very careful with this trade that I'm in, because I actually overextended myself, and the point of this thing is to be super, super strict. I want to be as strict as humanly possible every single day. Look at the charts every single day. Put on very, very managed risked trades. I want to be a risk averse person in this account, and I don't want to go crazy. So I'm going to look at this and see what's going on here. So this is what I see. On the first off, like I mentioned before, I'm using the shorter time frames. So right now on the 12-hour, we hit the major spots, the major supports. We had a big sweep, big SFP of it. And then we had this doji candle, and we came all the way up. We never actually hit the top. So let's take a look at this right here. Pretty much We had this move up starting right here. We had the move up before the move down that broke the market structure, to the downside. So this is MSB. Then right when it closed here, the next candle shot all the way back up, tagged this, and then slammed back down and went all the way down to the support. So a lot of newbies would look at this candle and say, oh, that's super bearish. But this in reality was actually really bullish, because this was the first candle after a while that showed major buying pressure at the support. So that was super bullish. So I actually started getting in up here, and I just stacked orders. And then eventually when this happened, I knew that was really good. So then I sold some up here, and then I bought back down here, and probably should have sold more up here, but that's for another day. So now we're back at the support, and we're getting this same inverse hammer candle after a doji candle, somewhat bullish, somewhat not bullish, because I wouldn't really expect this type of candle after we already had one. And yes, we had all the FUD from the other day, which drove the price down, but it's a little worrisome. So I want to try to look at the lower time frames and just see what's going on here. So for OP, we had first off, the low, high, lower low, swing high, low, swing high. We're able to get SFP on here, and then back to the lows again. So we're in a range. Okay, so in this range right here, between here and here, clearly we're at the support. So lovely. Want to look for longs at the support in the value zone, and want to sell somewhere in the discount zone. So this is the current range from the top to the bottom. This is probably what I would want to do. Let's go down to the 4-hour chart now. This is actually a little bit too high for me, for my liking, when it comes to the Fibonacci. So I'm going to bring it down to this level, because this level makes a lot more sense. Just from looking at it, if the wicks are too high, I don't like using them, but I'll use these type of wicks, especially if they line up with the previous closes. So this is where I would probably want to take my profit on this trade. So a 2.4 hour trade. Also, this right here was the move up before the move down that ended up breaking the market structure. So this technically became a bearish order block. So when the price moved up, it should have gotten rejected from here, but it didn't. It moved all the way up, and then eventually, which turned this into a bullish breaker, which means that the price should have came down, tagged it, and then moved back up, but it didn't. So it just fell right underneath of it. So now this is back to being a bearish order block. So this is a bearish order block. We already got rejected from it once. And so if we come back up, we might get rejected from it one more time. I would not look for shorts here at all. I would not look for shorts, because we're at the high time frame supports. But for this shorter term trade, I'll take my profits right here, and maybe I'll go to the 1-hour chart, and I'll look and I'll see, okay, where's a good entry to get into? Well, you could say this is a low, this is the high, this is 61.8. So I got in at a great level. I got in pretty much right here at the monthly open. The daily open's right here. We have the support. So I'm pretty comfortable in this trade. What I'm going to do is I'm going to raise my stop, and I'm going to put my stop right around here. And then I'm going to lower my target to right here. So this is super conservative. This is a very conservative trade. And yeah, I'm risking a little bit more than I want to on this trade. Actually, I'm probably risking let's see, probably 5% of my account. That's a lot. So maybe I'm going to lower the amount that I have in this trade just a little bit, and I'm going to, have my stop be at a reasonable level, and then I'm going to take my take profit down. So that's what I'm going to do for OP. Okay, so now we went through Bitcoin, Ethereum, OP, and I want to go back to RNDR just so that I have this from last time. If you remember, or if you didn't see it, I said I wanted to get in down here at the 61.8. So it has not hit that yet, but when it does, I'll definitely be looking for entry triggers down here. and I'll probably start stacking. I'll stack a couple orders in. It could potentially come all the way down here, so I don't want to go in too preemptively. But this is, I think it's gonna tag here, jump up, fall down, and have probably like a wick down here before jumping all the way back up. So I'd probably want to have a couple orders stacked in down here as well. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that for this particular account. But I could probably do that for my bigger account. But I'm looking at this right now, and you could see there's actually a bullish divergence going on the RSI. And the MACD has not started to tick up yet, but it is, if it ticks up, the next histogram, the next bar on the histogram ticks up, then that would actually be a daily bullish divergence on the MACD. If we could get this, if this starts to move up, that would actually be really, really good. Oh wait, never mind. Never mind. I thought I was looking right here from here to here, but that would not be a divergence. So scratch that. Just the divergence is happening on the RSI, just the small one from right there. So yeah, I'm not looking to buy reindeer yet, but it is something that's very interesting to me. One thing that I see is that this one, like this was high, low, higher high, and then finally made a lower low and broke the market structure. So this was a really easy shorting opportunity right here. Boom, short it down to the equal lows, and then it shot all the way back up. So maybe this is crazy that there would be such a powerful candle, bearish candle right here, and it would still go up. That means there must have been a ton of buying pressure. Something happened right here. And anyway, so now we're coming back down. So maybe we will come back down to this level. This level might be, I don't know if this level is actually going to get hit. Yeah, I think the wick is going to happen. Anyway, I'm getting too ahead of myself. Seriously, getting way too ahead of myself. I'm going to wait. Definitely going to wait on this one. So we have RNDR, and I'm going to bring that up just so that I have it in my checklist. And what other ones should we do? What other ones do we like? Let's see. Well, obviously I like quant, but I usually just do quant on the higher time frames. And so I need to see what KuCoin has for leverage. I think Aptos is probably a good one. And BNB is probably a good one. I already have my thing for BNB. So this hasn't been hit, but maybe, just maybe, we could put on a short position down here. You see, this is very similar to the other thing that I went to, OP, that I went through, which is that, yes, this right here is a market structure break, a bearish market structure break, right? Not only of right here, but also of back here as well, which is really big. So you want the price to come back up, hit the bearish order block, and then, slam down and go down even further, which it very well might do. It very well might come up into here and then slam down, probably into the yearly open, probably down here, not all the way down here. And that is a possibility. However, right now, if you look at this was huge support. We had a fake breakdown right here. And we had this is pretty much the midline. So we have the support down here, followed by, and the midline right here, and the upper part of the range right here. So this to me is what the range looks like. And we're literally at the support of the range, because most of the taps were right around here. These were where most of the taps were, and even right here there was underside resistance, and right even back here lots of wicks. So we're at the support. So if we take this range from if this is the range, we're all the way down in the quote unquote value zone of the range, right? So the only way that, for instance, if we brought this down here, the only way that this would work out is if we would short it to underneath the range. But even if we short it to underneath the range, one, we have the yearly open right here. So that's a significant level. And two, I guess, I mean, this is not a good enough RR. This is not a good risk reward. It's 1.75. I want to get a 2. I want to have 2 on all of my trades, at least a 2, unless it's like really, it looks really, really good. Then I'll, have a 1.5 or above. But unless we target down here, yeah, maybe we could target down here and just say that if this doesn't work, if this one doesn't work, then we will do the other trade that we had set up. Let me just check this out real quick. Hold on a second. This looks like it might be. I was thinking, not really. You can't really say that this is something, It's like, that's pushing it. You only have so much leeway with diagonal trades. I mean, I guess that's sort of something. It is sort of something. If this tapped here, oh my god, that would have been so perfect. If this just tapped like right there, then this would have been really good. But yeah, this actually, okay, this came up to the underside, and then all right, maybe this is a trade setup. This is a trade setup which could also act similarly like a hedge against the OP long. So like I said, I'm in the OP long, right? So I could put this on as a hedge against the long position in OP, and I could assume that it's going to continue to break down, and we're just going to have a breakdown. And that's due to the fact of all of that Binance, is being sued by the SEC, and there's a lot of fundamental FUD around Binance right now. And so it's tough because it's already at the support, and like you simply do not. And this is the first half of the support too. This is also the first half of the support. So this is something that, like, what I'll do for this is I'll put this trade on. This is a riskier trade. This is for sure a riskier trade. So instead of risking 2% or 4%, like how I did with the OP trade, I'll risk 1%. I'll only risk 1% on this trade. So if I win, I'll win 17. Basically, if I lose, sorry, it's not if I win, if I lose, because that's how you calculate it. If I lose, then I'm only going to lose 1% of my account. So this is not going to be a very big trade, but if I get stopped out on this, then I will absolutely, have my other trade be like this. Like, I'll put this trade on, and this will be a trade that I'll risk 3% on. Okay, so that's the game plan for BNB. I wrote that right here, and I put that in the VIP group. And so I'm going to do this, and then I'll do 2 more and stop it because I don't want these videos to go too long. Okay, so the next 2 that I want to do, the last 2 that I want to do for this video, are going to be Aptos, and I want to do Ape. I also sort of want to do MATIC, but I'll do Aptos, I'll do Ape, and I'll do MATIC. So I want to look at Aptos. And obviously, we're in this crazy downtrend right now. Just high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lowerish high, higher, low high, lower high, and then deviation. So this was the big level, like 9.85. That was the biggest level for sure. So the fact that we are underneath here is really, really bearish. If we could get back above here, I would love to long a retest for a shot up, you know, and target here and back there, right? But until we're up there, that's not going to be really happening, right? But right now, where are we? We are back here in this zone. This is a down move before the up move that broke this market structure. So we are currently in this bullish order block. So we're in there. We're obviously very oversold on the RSI, but this is an ugly, oh shit, this is really a bad looking, this is an ugly RSI. So I am not confident in Aptos. I don't know why I chose this coin. I just feel like, I don't know. I just chose it for random reason. So I'm not really liking it anymore, actually, after looking at the RSI. We have that level right there. You know, this is a very big level at 7.97, going down to the 4-hour. If we can, I guess if we can reclaim, if we could reclaim here, if we could get back into this range, that would be really good. Yeah, get back into this range. And I would want to long here and target here. So this would be, if we close up there, then I'll do something like this. Yeah. And never mind, I won't do that at all. I would have to target the top. I would have to target up here. I'd have to target the top of the range. So I'd have to target up there, and this still would not be a good trade. So this would be a good trade. So I would do a trade something like this if we can get back up here. So that was Aptos. I also want to look at MATIC. The reason why I want to look at MATIC is because my alerts went off in the VIP about MATIC coming into the big zone, like the big, what do you call it, zone against Bitcoin. So obviously we have this huge support area. This is huge support. This is huge resistance, and it fell down below it, and then finally, you know, went back inside of it, recovered on the weekly time frame, and then came all the way up to resistance again, and now we're all the way back at support again. So, you know, that's looking really good. And we just had all of that FUD from the news of the SEC, you know, taking it out, or you know, saying that they're charging it as a security. This is the 78.6. We're not there yet. I would like to get there, but honestly, I think this is where I would want to get into, somewhere down here. This would be where I would want to get into, actually. And yeah, I'm looking at this. It's not a bullish divergence. This looks lower than this. So it's not really a bullish divergence, but it's pretty low. I just need to see something. I need to see something going on. So let's go down to the 4-hour. Let's go down to the 1-hour. Okay, so on the 1-hour chart, it's like, why would I buy here? Why would I buy here? What is down here? What is down here? Is there something down here? If I look to the left, if I look left, is there something around here? Yeah, nah, it hasn't reached my level yet. Okay, so this is a perfect example of something that, like, maybe it's good. Maybe it'll just shoot up from here, but it just simply has not reached my level. And so I don't want to mess with it because it hasn't reached my level. And that's why I don't mess with it. And that's why I do this every day. So if it comes down here and does something, I think this would be a good area. Comes down here, that's where I would want to long. So that's MATIC and MATIC BTC. MATIC against USD is at the major support. So we see this is at a major support level on the USD pair. Oh, it's also at the yearly open. Wow. Okay, so yearly open. Okay, so maybe I will get into it now, because with USD it looks good. Let's see if there's some type of trigger. I would love to see just a wick down here and then a move up. That would be great. Let's go to the 4-hour. Let's go to, all right. Oh, that's actually pretty solid. It's pretty good. You know, we got the bullish engulfing, and then we got the doji followed by a bullish hammer candle. Things look pretty decent for MATIC right now. I knew there was a reason I wanted to get into MATIC. So, should I put a trade on for MATIC? If I were going to, if I were going to, I'd have to put my stop down here. Probably target somewhere up here. This is not a good trade. This is not really that good of a trade. 4-hour. Here's the, be something like that. This does have the yearly open, which is significant. It is at the supports. It's just, I would really think there would be some wicks down into this area. I want to get down. I want to start stacking it here in the liquidity zone. So I'm just going to put this. I'm just going to stack it here in the liquidity zone. That's what I'm going to put. And I'm just going to have to wait for this. I'm probably just going to have to wait for this, because you would, unless there's a mean reversion play that's about to happen, which there might be. This could just be something. It's very interesting. Could do something like this. Could do something like that. I probably would not want this to be here. I'd probably want this to be down here. This isn't that bad of a trade. It's really not that bad of a trade. And I do think that Bitcoin might be having, like, you know, it's not looking too bad. So maybe MATIC will go up as well because of what's going on. I don't really like, I like it, but I don't for MATIC. I like it, but I don't. I just think it's going to come back down. I think it's going to come back down. Not a bad place to start stacking some orders, but I don't know why. And also, I don't know why this entire thing is green. Should really be down here. Should really be down here. I mean, look at this chart. Seriously, look at this chart. Okay. And tell me this is not a buy. At least to start stacking in. I feel like you could just start stacking in orders right here and just wait, and simply wait and get out on like a pop-up to like 83 cents, which is fairly significant, you know, 6% or something like that. And it's pretty good. That is a possibility, unless this time it goes down, you know. Unless this time it goes down, then obviously you would have to get out. So I like how it's at the support. I don't like how this is looking, but I do like this. I do like the RSI. I do like the MACD. Don't like the stochastics. I need to stop doing that. Really need to stop doing that. I'm trying to see if there's a special candlestick or something down here. Something that looks good. I just would have expected it to go lower. And I still sort of do. I suppose if you take the 4 hour, if you look at the 4 hour chart, you could see that there is this. It shouldn't come down. It should not come back down here on the 4 hour chart because of the fact that this is such a good candle. This is indicating that there were a lot of buyers. There was some indecision, and then there were a lot of buyers, and now there's some indecision, and it's like, are there going to still be buyers? We're at the support. Yearly open. I think it might be good. This might be a solid trade, and it's a 2 hour trade. Let's take the fib. Look at the hour. This will be the trade. Okay. So this is going to be my trade for this. I think this will work. It's a 2.38 R trade. Getting in at the, if I getting in here at this bullish order block, and it's at the support and breaking market structure shift up. Boom. Yeah, I think that's good. Up, down. Bring it back down. So this should be. It might just go up from here. Honestly, it might just pop up straight from here. If this rolls over, I'm hoping that this does what this did. Like, came up, rolled over, popped up. Came up. I hope it rolls over, pops up, rolls over. That's what I'm hoping. So I'm gonna put this trade on for MATIC. That's what I'll do. I'll put this trade on for MATIC. And we will see if it sticks. All right. This is the bearish order block. So, boom. And I'm not even going to be greedy and try to get all the way up here. I'm going to literally try to take my profit early. So, yeah, I'll put this on, and that will be my trade for MATIC. All right, now I'm doing ApeCoin, and I knew there was a reason I wanted to get into ApeCoin, and that's because if I see it on the daily chart, well, look, it's coming. It retraced all the way back down to the previous lows, so it had this huge run up from November to, where is this? January. In November, December, and January. How big was this run up? This run up was a entire. Actually, I should have this down here, right? There you go. This was 100% run up from the lows to the highs, right? And that was after this fake breakdown. So originally this was the bottom, right? Originally this was the bottom. You could say this entire area down here fell below here, and then and basically chopped a bunch of people up, stopped a bunch of people out. This wick really took out the rest of the people who were just waiting on it. And then finally it came up and it reclaimed this area right here, this previous low, which I guess you could say it was that. So it finally reclaimed it, shot back down, and then boom, it was off to the races before coming back down and touching it as a support resistance flip again, just like how it did back here, right? And then it was truly off to the races. This happens a lot. This does happen a lot. I noticed that. So it happened with OP. It's what happened with pretty much a lot of stuff that I see. So now, and then what happened is we came all the way back down. We had a little bounce off of the consolidation zone down here, but it really wasn't anything to ride home about. And now we're all the way back down here. We had a little bit of a nice reaction off of the lows, and the MACD is pretty bullish right now, and the RSI is pretty bullish as well. So RSI super bullish RSI, lots of bullish divergences on the daily, and the MACD is literally just getting higher and higher as the price gets lower and lower. So bullish divergences on the MACD as well. So this is actually a really good trade on the daily. I'm gonna definitely take a trade on the daily as well, but this account is just for simply the lower time frame stuff. So on the lower time frame, what I'm doing is I'm noticing this is the range. Well, actually, this is the range on the 12-hour. It's from top to bottom. It's like this, and basically this was the up move for the down move that broke the market structure. It came back up and tagged the bearish order block, fell back down, and now it's making its way back up. So it should probably come up, go back down just slightly, and then continue to make its way back up. So if we go down to the 4-hour chart, let's see, we have, all right, nice moves up, a higher low. That's a good sign. That's the first sign of something being good, is a higher low. So you could see we have the lows. We made a higher high, but then we made a lower low, or I guess you'd say that's an equal low, lower low, whatever, and then another lower low, and then equal low, and then another lower low, and then finally a higher low right here, and that spurred a move up. So same thing back here. It was like low, lower 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 low, finally boom, higher low. This doesn't say that it doesn't mean that it's going to move up, but it's just when you get this higher low, which you'll know once the price moves up, past the, and creates a pivot point right here, swing low, then you know that is the low. Then that's the first indication. Oh, there's all these lower lows. Finally, there's a higher low. So maybe the price is gonna actually move up. So then you want to get in on the retrace and target higher up, if that's what you're thinking. So this is a higher low. It looks like a higher low is forming. There were tons of wicks down here, which is a good sign. So, and RSI is looking good, and MACD is looking good. So I'm on the 4-hour chart. I'll probably just buy this right now, and what I'll do is I'll put a 12-hour, I'll put a stop loss down here below the 12-hour lows. If it comes down here and closes, especially if it closes, it's not going to be good. And I'll go to the 4-hour chart, and dang, I want to get in, but it's moving up already. So I'm just going to market. I guess I'm going to market buy this. And then this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to target this. Instead of saying that this is where I'm going to take my fib, I'm actually going to take my fib from this high to this low. And I'm going to target the 61.8. So it's exactly a 2R trade. So yeah, that's going to be APE. And this is going to be the end of the video. So hope you guys enjoyed this. and I'll make another one very soon. Remember to manage your risk, and hope you stay in the green, stay profitable, and I'll see you in the next video.